Insight. Ah. Rafer's insight. The victim was offering up his prayers. It was the night of the rite. The pattern on the plaza's ground was visible in the darkness. Then someone was there, and the theme to the plumed Punisher filled the air. The accused held the victim down and plunged her dagger into his upper back. The blade struck true, and in that instant he departed from this world. Okay, it was the night? That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments. Her benevolence's insights have painted a detailed picture, both vivid and true. I didn't notice any holes there. As they stand now, those insights are really stacked against us. I'll just have to go over each and every one of the deceased sensations carefully. Oh, very carefully. It was the night? The victim was offering up prayers. Oh god, this one's a really short one. It was the night of the rite. Though it's dark, the pattern on the plaza ground was visible. What did she say? Oh, that's my statement. Whoops. That's it. About the feast that was held the day before the rite. The family felt... These dishes were only prepared during the feast. I mean, yeah, but the smell was that strong that it takes like a day to get rid of it, right? Gingeal. It was the night of the rite. Oh, unless what we're saying is that the smell of gingeal wouldn't be there, because it would have been the night time, but I thought it took a full day for the smell to bugger off. Yeah. I'll go with it. Oh yeah, so like, my bad. Forgot how this worked. That's his sight, not his touch. The smell of food. Objection! Or the smell of gingeal. Was it really the night of the rite? What do you mean? It could not be otherwise. The accused slew Acolyte Zealot after killing the High Priest during the purification rite. The only problem is that the deceased's spirit does not corroborate that. What's this? Take a good look at what the victim smelled. Do you see how it says gingeal? Acolyte Zealot shouldn't have smelled any gingeal on the night of the rite. Okay. What do you mean? Let me back up my statement with some evidence for you. So it's I guess what we're getting at is that the smell should only last from noon to 3 PM. I thought it meant it lasted a lot longer, but never mind. I got it, it don't matter. Almost presented the wrong statement though. The High Priest's wife, believe in me, told me about the Feast of Blessings. The feast includes a number of gingeal-based dishes, and they're only supposed to be served at a certain time the day before the rite. Oh yeah, so it takes a full day and the smell goes away. Why, I believe you're right, I had completely forgotten about that. During the feast, the unique smell of gingeal pervades the entire kingdom. The fact that the victim smelled it means he was murdered between noon and 3 PM the day before the purification rite. But no one noticed? Oh my. I'm not so easily fooled. Did that autopsy report not make it clear? The estimated time of death was during the rite. Oh right, I taught her about that yesterday. Forgive me, Your Benevolence, but the estimated time of death is just that, an estimate. Depending on the circumstances, it's possible for it to change. What's this? Oh, she's gonna be embarrassed now. Like if a body was kept cold, the slowed rate of decay makes the death seem more recent. Why, I believe I have heard something of the sort before. If it is Mr. Wright claims, the estimated time of death in the autopsy report will have to be revisited. Ah! I knew she was going to be embarrassed. Barbed head, you blinded me with science. Sorry. Wait, what am I apologising for? No matter. The murder may have occurred in the afternoon hours the day before the rape. Nevertheless, the murder weapon with the accused's prints on it is incontrovertible evidence. God, I'm trying to click, but it's not letting me. Just click, goddammit. There we go. Sheesh. I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. It was the afternoon of the day before the raid. Though a bit dark, the pattern on the plaza's ground was visible. Oh, the blade struck true and in that... yeah. The time of death has been corrected, leaving my insight infallible. Sheesh. Nick! A change in the time of death is bound to cause some sort of an inconsistency. If I had something that showed what it was, or what it was like on that day, it could really help. Oh, it was icy cold, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. I don't know if it matters if it has to be any of these. Oh yeah, it would be this. It was the afternoon on the day before the raid. Though a bit dark, the pattern on the plaza ground was visible. But it shouldn't be, it should be icy. Where's the weather report? Oh, there we go. Oh no, it's not. Is it that one? Oh god, I can't remember where it mentions. Oh, there it is. This is the day before it. Oh, was it? Today's? So yeah, it was. Until yesterday. There we go. The thick white ice. So yeah, that would be what I'd present if I'm presenting. So there we go. Select. Select the ground, I guess. Oops. Objection! Okay. The change in the date and time of the crime has caused a new inconsistency to surface. What's this? Ugh, you are making that irritating face again. Cease that at once. Sorry, but this is the face I was born with. Now, let's focus on what is important. What the victim saw in his final moments. A green surface. Oh my god. I have just realised where he is. Yeah. There were hand marks on that monument inside of the rebel hideout. Yeah. Oh my god. What the hell? Do you have bats in the belfry, Barbed Head? There's nothing to see. The ground at the plaza was all that entered the victim's eyes. It's just occurred to me. Because I looked at his hands, I was like, wait a minute. That tablet had the hand marks in this location as well. And that's what I find so strange. On the day before the riot, it should have been impossible to see that pattern on the ground. Impossible, you say? Do explain. This piece of evidence shows why the plaza ground was not visible that day. The May 9th newspaper. This newspaper has an article that is tiny in size but huge in importance. It says that the ground was covered with thick white ice the day before the riot. What? But the victim did not see so much as an ice cube on the ground. Exactly. And so we must ask, what was the victim looking at in his final moments? If you have something to say, then say it. Oh, I do. The last thing the victim saw was not the ground at the Plaza of Devotion. This can only mean that he was killed elsewhere. What? What? Even Sad Mardi is surprised. Then where do you propose the victim was actually killed? Yes, tell us where. Otherwise your argument is worthless. About that. I hadn't gotten to that part yet. Any ideas, Maya? Let me think. Well, it's somewhere green and shaggy, right? Right, but where could that be? What is it, Barbed Head? Giving up already? Not at all. Now where have I seen something green and shaggy? This shows where the victim was killed. The Rebel hideout photo. There we go. The secret hideout the rebels were using. The Rebel hideout? Yeah, look right there. Oh yeah, I forgot, you can't see my mouse. On the right tablet. There was no such place anywhere on the floor of that chamber. You're absolutely right. There's no place on the floor anyway. Then what did the victim see in his final moments if not the floor of the Rebel hideout? This is what the victim saw in his final moments. Point to the handprint. The shaggy green surface the victim saw was one of the moss-covered stone slabs. As you can see, there are two distinct hand-shaped impressions in the moss here. I believe the victim was killed while he stood there with his hands pressed against the slab. That does agree with the seance vision, but, however, one cannot definitely declare they are one and the same. I concur. There is no proof that a murder occurred in the Rebel hideout. Indeed. What evidence do you have of this? Oh, the clock! The clock plays the theme song on every hour. I've already shown you the evidence. What do you mean? Please take a look at this second version of the photo I just showed you. You can see the results of the luminol test I performed in the Rebel hideout. This is proof positive that someone had been bleeding in front of the stone slab. Of that stone slab. Is this true? This information has already been provided by to the police. Detective Sky, to whom does this blood belong? We thought it was the High Priest's blood that flowed in from the outside, so we haven't tested it yet. Then you must do so at once. Yes, Your Majesty. Okay. And the test comes back. It was real Nemu. Nemu? What was his name? It appears the police have finished testing the blood. Detective Sky, your report, please. The blood found in the Rebel hideout belongs to Perezalot, just like the defense claims. Detective Sky, do you realize what your blunder has done to me? When this trial concludes, I want to see you in my prayer chamber. There I will deliver a joyous sermon onto you for 8 hours straight. Oof. I'm really sorry, but please anything but that. Nick, maybe, just maybe, this is the chance we've been waiting for. Yep, it would seem so. I hate to do this to Emma, but go for it. It's full speed ahead. Hey, just like Emma's just doing her job, we are just doing ours. The victim was killed in the Rebel hideout the day before the purification rite. Then his body was moved to the Plaza of Devotion by someone we've yet to identify. So, when we thought we saw Acolyte Zealot praying during the rite, he was already dead. Oh, we have a knack for just proving her unknitted theories. Her seance is wrong. And that's not all. If he was killed at the Inner Sanctum, that would explain one more thing. And that would be the theme song. How the time of death was made to look later than it actually was. The proof of which was left behind at the Sanctum. This points to how the time of death was made to appear later than it actually was. Oh wait, this points to... we're using the clock. Do you truly believe that could affect the time of death? And why not? Then let us test this idea on your body. Pass? Mr. Wright's body may still be alive, but he appears very much— oh, I got that wrong. Whoops. Jesus. I blew that one. So no one attempted to cover up the true time of death. No, I believe someone did. Wait, this was made to appear— I mean, I'm looking through it, I'm like, what? This points to— oh, would it be the knife? It does say it made to appear later than it actually was. That would be my only idea. Oh, if it's not this, I really don't know. Okay, no, it didn't. Fuck. No! My chances! Like, how is it— what's pointing to it? Oh, wait, is it autopsy report? How— that doesn't affect the time of death, though. What else do we have? Oh! The Inner Sanctum photo! Okay, so that's right. Why, these are photos of the Inner Sanctum. I'd like you to focus on this one. The proof is right here in this photo. This is how the time of death was made to appear later than it really was. Do you see how the snow has been removed from this one spot only? That's because it was used to keep the victim's body cold. That's why the time of death wasn't what it seemed. Okay. It did say if it was cold enough. The time wasn't mistaken, and— oh, the time was mistaken, and the place too? Then just what do you believe that proves? That my client is innocent? What of her fingerprints on the dagger? And the plumed Punisher theme the victim heard? You failed to address these two key pieces of evidence. I see your point. I can address the song. Wasn't this your big chance, Nick? Really hoping that the difference in location can invalidate either the weapon or the theme song from being used as evidence against you. Actually, that might be possible. At least for one of them. Really? What's this? You say you can contradict our argument for a key piece of evidence? Very well. Let us see you try. Nick, take a good look at the rebel hideout photo. Oh. The defense can invalidate this piece of evidence. The theme. The plumed Punisher theme. And how do you intend to support such a claim? Since the murder happened in the rebel hideout, there's something there that played the theme song other than my client's strap. It wasn't the strap, is this true? The item that played the plumed Punisher theme song was this. There we go, the clock. This is a plumed Punisher alarm clock. I believe the victim heard its alarm going off. Oh, that would explain the heavy. Wait, was he killed with a blow to the head? What proof do you have that the alarm went off? The theme song. What proof do you have that it was my client's strap that played the theme song? I mean, yeah, that's also valid. Do not twist the facts with your loyally wiles. Either way, the accused would still be guilty based off of her prints on the murder weapon. And here is what really happened. Oh, insight revised. The victim was offering up his prayers. The victim stood with his hands on the stone slab in the hideout. It was the afternoon of the day before the rite. The blade struck true, and the blade struck true. I don't know if he was killed by a blade. But there have been some twists and turns. That is the truth of what happened. I won't get anywhere unless I can eliminate the dagger. That's what we're doing next. Most impressive, Your Benevolence. I see no inconsistencies anywhere in the prosecution's case. No, there is one. What's this? You still claim there to be an inconsistency? Try as you might, the outcome will always be the same. Wait, so the victim stood with his hands on the slab. On the hideout. So yeah, there's that. Was he pushing it? Oh, he had pain. Oh. So if I go heavy... Yeah, I don't think he had his hands just touching it. I think he was trying to push it over. Or someone was pushing it from the other side, and he was almost gonna be crushed, maybe? Objection! Well, the music stopped. That's a good sign. It's also the fact it's heavy. If it's just stood there, it wouldn't be heavy. Unless there was some weight behind it. The victim was originally thought to have been stabbed while bent over in prayer. But he was actually standing with his hands against the stone slab. So the question is, where did the sensation of something heavy come from? Actually, yeah, if he was hit with the clock, it would be the pain sensation. It wouldn't just be something heavy. Yes, I see your point. Since the victim was standing, he couldn't have been held down. Then tell us, Mr. Wright, what was that heavy sensation felt by the victim? What caused the heavy sensation Zealot felt? Any thoughts, Maya? I agree that that sense of heaviness seems important, but there's also the matter of Zealot's hands on the stone slab. Why were they even there? Could it be related to the cause of the heavy sensation? Yes, to stop it from falling on him. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have an answer for us? Of course. If I just envisioned the state Zealot was in when he was killed, the cause of the heaviness the victim felt was the stone slab falling. Oh, the falling stone slab. The only conceivable cause is the stone slab falling over, trapping the victim underneath. What? Oh. The stone slab came falling down on him, crushing him underneath. Right, that was the cause of the heavy sensation the victim felt. While your theory is impressive, you have overlooked a key fact. The victim was not crushed to death. Rather, he was stabbed. Oh yeah. Or do you claim that the dagger was plunged in after the slab had fallen on him? Plus, had the killer been behind him, or behind the victim, they would have both been crushed together. Well, would you care to explain? Sure, I'd love to. That doesn't mean I can. How could the dagger have been plunged in after the slab fell on the victim? The killer couldn't have plunged the dagger into the victim after the slab fell on him. But what if the murder weapon wasn't what we thought it was? Well, there were other weapons in the rebel hideout. But the entrance to the hideout is right by the stone slab. There isn't enough space between the two of between the two to use any of the weapons found within. Yeah, there's not much space by the entrance, is there? So, what was the real murder weapon then? I better think of something. The murder weapon wasn't the dagger. Then the dagger must have been plunged into the victim after he was already dead. That means he was stabbed at least twice, but the autopsy doesn't mention that. Then he must have been stabbed in the same spot with something shaped like the dagger. Oh. But what? Is the question? Will the defense care to offer an explanation sometime this century? Sheesh. Wait, wasn't there something dagger-like near the scene of the crime? Oh. Something that had a shape similar to the Warbad dagger. Oh, there definitely is. I think I know what it's pointing towards. Present your evidence at this time, Mr. Wright. Shoot. We have the Inner Sanctum photo. Ba-ba-da. Family. The Rebel Hideout. That's the Inner Sanctum diagram. What else do I have? Oh, that's just those two things. It wouldn't be using that a second time. I suppose I could use the diagram to point towards it. The Inner Sanctum's diagram? You believe the murder weapon is somewhere in the sanctum? There we go. Okay, good. This is what really took Perez-a-Lot's life. It's the statue. The beak. Of said statue. But that is the Warbad statue. Exactly. The Warbad statue has dagger-like feathers protruding from it. Well, that too. I thought it would be the beak. That is what really took the victim's life. You imbecilic fool, the statue is outside the hideout. How do you propose it impaled someone who was inside? It spins around. Haven't you heard? The Warbad statue also functions as the hideout's door. What do you mean? It spins. The statue can pull a complete switcheroo. A switcheroo? To put it simply, it's a revolving door. A revolving door? Why, that makes perfect sense. Therefore, I believe the truth behind the divination seance to be this. As the victim entered the secret hideout, the stone sculpture came toppling towards him, pushing him backwards. He threw up his hands to stop it, but its weight forced him backwards. Ooh. Unfortunately, the Warbad statue was right behind him. Oh. This cannot be. That's twice, or 3 times. But the accused's fingerprints were found on the dagger. She had held it while rehearsing for the rite, which is when her prints got on it. Whoa. This is a shocking turn of events, but there is a great deal of circumstantial evidence in the defense's favour. I believe we must accept that the Warbad statue was what killed the victim. Would also explain why there was so much blood on it. Warbad statue. Its sharp protruding feathers took Perez-a-Lot's life. It's also a revolving door. Now that we know how Acolyte Zealot really met his demise, There's no basis for claiming my client committed this crime. Nice work, Nick. How can this be happening yet again? The divination seance is the only truth. No, Your Benevolence. It's not the truth itself, but it is a means for shedding light on the truth. Hey, he has a point. Do you understand now? Your kingdom needs lawyers so that they can interpret your insights. But that means I have been misinterpreting the voices of the spirits all this time. Your Benevolence, are you unwell? All the colour has drained from your face. It might just be the fact she's realised that she's not been doing a good thing. She's been doing what she thought was right, even though it wasn't, essentially. Providing the truth. But because there was no one to argue against her truth, there were false imprisonments, false charges, everything. I'll be fine. Continue your proceedings without me. As you wish. I actually do feel quite sorry for her. Ah, I feel kind of bad for her. Now then, I would have the defense continue. Please explain what you have learned now that we know how the victim actually died. Acolyte Zealot was killed in the hideout before the High Priest's murder. That means the body found at the Plaza of Devotion was moved there by the real killer. But only after the Warbad dagger was thrust into him. To make it look like the murder weapon. That does seem to agree with what we know now. No, God. But why would the real killer go to such lengths? I believe stabbing Acolyte Zealot's body with the dagger and moving it to the plaza was a warning from the Twilight Realm, a crime committed for fun to make it look like a serial murder. Ooh, yeah. It was an attempt to make my client look like a serial killer. That's right, the real killer planned all of this. This forged serial murder case. They did? That's it, Nick. Keep hammering away. Satoru. Oh great, he's doing a summoning. Oh, we get to hear his music. Oh god. Your reasoning has more holes in it than that cheese you foreigners so enjoy. What? Like those putrid, hole-ridden clumps of curds that only a rat like you could love. Your reasoning, much like your putrid, hole-riddled brain, has putrefied. What's his deal with things going putrid? Fetish. You have yet to overturn my argument that the accused is the killer. A careful analysis of the chain of events up to the killings exposes the truth as follows.